This is a tutorial on how to repair the edging on a crochet blanket. I ran a search and I couldn't really find anything that dealt with this particular issue. Basically, someone's small dog got a hold of the edge of the blanket and tore through 3 rows worth of stitching. So we're going to go in and visually work on this. This may not be best practice, but this is how I came about repairing this particular edge. As you can see, the edge is jagged. The right side has more stitches towards the top and the left side has more stitches towards the bottom. So the first thing I want to do is unravel some of the stitches from the top right and the bottom left to create more of a rectangular space that needs to be filled. Now I've got a clearer spot to fill in, and I've got loose string to weave in after it's all done, making the material stronger. For me, the most important things are matching the yarn as much as possible, matching the stitches as much as possible. In this case, I'm going to use an H hook. A G hook's a little too small. And also making sure that the stitches are exactly the same. As you can see with this pattern, the stitches are not worked. Single crochet, stop, turn, single crochet the next row. This blanket edging was made in a circular pattern around for 4 rows. And each stitch was worked in the back loop, making it a very attractive edging. The first thing I want to do is, as I would if I were making the blanket from scratch, work from left to right. I'm slip stitching into the first unworked stitch and then single crocheting across. But I also want to leave a really long piece of thread, because in my thinking, the less material I use to fill in the space, the better. So with the really long end, I'm actually going to pull that through the worked loop on the second row and use it to crochet across the second row. At the end, I bind off, and then I also use a tapestry needle to thread the tail into the next good clean stitch, just to leave it there, and also so it will help me visually put it together after I complete the next 2 rows. Next, I go in through the first stitch that needs to be worked on the right, second row, and pull the long tail through and start working second row stitches. When I get to the end, I bind off and then use a tapestry needle to secure the newly worked row to the still intact existing row. At the very top, I want to go through the last unworked stitch with new thread and work across the top in more of a seamless stitch. Then I bind off the very last stitch, then weave in the ends through the edging. This is a visual process for me. Again, there may be better practices for this sort of repair, but I couldn't find anything specifically for this kind of repair, so I went with the visual element. This required some trial and error. I had to undo my work when I wasn't happy with the way that it looked. So this is not a precise recipe for fixing this particular style of edging, but visually it helped to work the fabric front and back, making sure to look at both sides to see if it looked right.